Knockout Abuse leverages an extensive community of philanthropic, retail, and corporate partners to bring support to the many organizations that help women and child victims of domestic violence in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia areas. I'm looking forward to interviewing some extraordinary people tonight. Come along with me for the inside look. Hi everyone, I'm here with Cynthia Steele Vance, the chair for tonight's Knockout Gala. So good to see you tonight.
Oh, it's so good to see you, and thank you so much for coming. We're so glad to have you with us.
We're very honored to be here. Cynthia, tell us a little bit about the organization Knockout.
Well, why don't I start from the beginning? 22 years ago, Jill Sorensen and Cheryl Masri decided we want to do something for women that are victims and survivors of domestic violence. So we joined together at Cafe Milano. There were about 50 women. We had a fabulous dinner. We passed a hat around, and we raised several $1,000s. We thought, hey, this is easy. Let's do it again. So that really was the genesis of it, and that's where it started. So it was sort of a lark that turned into an absolute powerhouse. And from there, it's taken off. We support Bethany House, Crossways, DC lawyers, which provide help for women pro bono. So we provide money for shelters for women that are in an abusive situation so they have some place to go.
So much came out of one idea, right?
One small idea really created this huge operation, and it's quite an operation.
I bet. Yeah. And to that point, tell us what are some of the exciting things we can expect to see tonight?
Well, we'll have some great music, we have some great food. The theme is Florence because I love Florence, and we'll have a few surprises. And it's a wonderful, warm evening, but we also have Dorothy McAuliffe, the First Lady of Virginia here. We have Tamron Hall from NBC, who's lost her sister to a very tragic domestic violence situation, and she is the winner of our Break the Silence Award. We also have a beautiful woman, Margaret, who was in a terribly, terribly violent relationship, and her husband almost killed her, and she has agreed to be one of our honorees. So these women are going to tell their personal stories. So you've got fun, you've got good food, but you've also got the real life issue of domestic violence and what it does to women and what it does to their children.
Well, you're all making an impact, so it's great to be here, and thanks again for speaking with us.
Thank you for that.
Margaret, I know that your experience is relatively new. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Knockout recently.
So my experience is in 2010, actually. My ex-husband, when I served him with divorce papers, nearly killed me. And I survived 2 young children, 2 daughters, and I've been basically living under the radar for security reasons in the DC area, and until he actually was incarcerated, and he went to prison in September of 2014. And then I came out, felt more comfortable since that ordeal was a long legal process.
Sure.
And I met Cheryl Masri, who's the co-founder and the president of Knockout Abuse, and they do such incredible work. And so through talking to her and wanting to help and speak to women, and also very much kind of ring the bell of the awareness level of this epidemic. I mean, people don't realize how commonplace it is. I didn't realize how commonplace it was until what happened to me, which was so public, that many women have shared with me.
Is it because it becomes normal, a strange kind of normal for victims?
You know, in my case, my husband had never been physically violent during our marriage. He pushed me once a number of years before I served him with divorce papers. I thought I could manage it. You know, a lot of the relationship starting out was mostly positive, and it builds over the years, and you become more isolated. It becomes more difficult to have friends, to be around your family. And once you have a child, you are pretty much stuck.
Sure.
it's very hard. So you decided, what I decided from a pragmatic perspective was that, and I was working as a lawyer, energy law, throughout our marriage, and I decided I would manage it, so because that was the best thing for the children, and I wanted to be with them 24/7, and I thought I could manage it, and you know what? At the end of the day, I obviously couldn't.
Well, you're a hopeful voice for a lot of women who are probably at different stages of this situation, so it's going to be wonderful to hear the rest of your story tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Venue has a real place in my heart because
Everyone, we're here with Tamron Hall, star of MSNBC and the Today Show. So good to see you tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Tamron, you're winning the Break the Silence Award. Tell me what that means to you and what that award is all about.
You know what? It takes my breath away. It was not easy to tell my sister's story. It wasn't just my choice. It was something that I discussed with my family, her sons, whether it was the right thing to do. And breaking the silence was not just my decision, it was my family's. And so we did it together. I could not have done it without my family. And in the end, it's helped my family heal a lot of guilt that we felt for perhaps not knowing what to do and not, in our minds, doing enough to save my sister. And so we've learned through our pain, and we just want to help other people.
And you've expressed before how challenging it was to come forward. What was the tipping point for you and your family?
I was hosting an event in New York. I just moved to New York. It was for this organization called Day One. And these survivors, very young, all of them, under 21, were sharing their stories in graphic detail. And I said, if they are brave enough to do that, and if they can share what's happened to them, in a room of strangers, then I've got to give something back to them, because at that moment they've given life to someone else through not being silent, through breaking the silence.
Wonderful story. Well, on a positive note, what's happening, exciting things are happening in your career?
Oh my gosh, it's exciting. The Today Show, we have hit a stride, and we are truly and have always been a family, but I think that every day the viewers see it, they see the commitment that we have as journalists, but they also see that, we're in it together. We're waking up with you, and it is such an honor to be in someone's home every single morning. And I always say, when you wake up at 5, 4 in the morning, you've got to love the people you are next to. And I'm very fortunate to be with a great team. Matt Lauer is the best in the business. Savannah's a great friend, a wonderful mother. Natalie the same. And I've learned so much from all of them, and it's just been an honor to be on the team.
Well, it's great. We love watching you every
Thank
day.
you.
And congratulations again on the award.
Thank you so much.
And for sharing your story.
Of course, thank you.
Since 1993, Knockout Abuse has raised over $8.5 million to provide transformational support to over 22,000 women and children whose lives have been shattered by domestic violence. Through direct service providers like Bethany House of Northern Virginia, Safe Shores, and the DC Volunteer Lawyer Project, these women receive housing, legal assistance, and other resources to help them lead successful, happy, and healthy lives. If you're suffering from domestic violence, please contact them for support. I'm Jane Ruby for Inside Look TV. I'll be looking for you next time.
but nice.